Should you buy a house in Utah now? That's the topic of this video. So as of right now, it's October. It's mid-October. We've got elections of 2020 next month. Here's some good stats. In the month of November, on election year, typically buyers pull back at a rate of 15%. So in history, on the election year of November, we're gonna see, if history repeats, we're gonna see a 15% pullback in buyer demand. Now, let's go to some slides about where is the Utah market at right now, and you can then decide, is it gonna crash, or is now still a good time? Okay, so right here, the orange line represents showings on homes nationally, and in March, you see that dip on the orange line, compared to the blue line last year where there was no drama and just showings continued on fine. But as May rolled around this year, the showings returned at a higher rate than last year, and as of October 14th, we're 25% higher in showing count than last year at the same time. So there's no signs of this market pulling back right now. The amount of listings that are going on the market is also way down. So that means our supply is really low. You're gonna see here that last year there was 10,000 homes that were listed per day. No, that's not per day. There was just 10,000 homes on the market the day of October 13th. And this year we only have 4,000 in Utah. Okay, so supply is way down. And then the blue line represents the supply again compared to the last 4 years. So crazy. And we've got right here, we've seen a 73% increase in Utah County in the amount of homes that are under contract this year versus last year. We've seen a 32% increase in Salt Lake County this year versus last year. So the amount of buyers fall in love with the home and put it under contract, it's majorly increased. So why am I telling you all this? Because it's kind of a bloodbath right now. I don't believe that the market's necessarily gonna fall. I've made other videos, is the Utah market gonna crash? You can go to that and maybe continue on with this, but I don't believe the indicators are telling us that the prices are gonna fall. Now, my advice should you buy a home right now? I'm standing in this kitchen, I'm under contract on this house right now, and I'm closing the first week of November. And the house that I picked has a lot of land, it's centrally located in Pleasant Grove, it has a 0.62 acre, it's got a huge garage. I joke and say it's a big garage with a detached little house. But anyway, it needs work. It kind of smells, it's pretty dated, we got to redo all this, but the price that I got it at was $525,000 for basically an 8-car garage on a 0.6 acre lot. This was on the market for over 100 days. Anybody else could have bought this. I just decided, you know what, I think it's time for me to get a little bit more of a long-term home, and the rates are so good. I'm getting a 2.625 interest rate on this house for a 30-year fixed mortgage, and I'm gonna put 15% down on it, and I'm gonna use the rest of the cash that we have to go ahead, well, not the rest of the cash, but we have a budget that we're going to remodel this house. And so my recommendation to my family, to my friends is, first off, in November, you might actually have an easier time getting a home, and I do not believe it's going to kick off a trend of a down market, but it will be a little easier. Second, yeah, things are a lot, pretty uncertain. A lot of us feel worried about the future. I don't believe real estate necessarily is bulletproof. There's just no indicators right now showing that it's going to slow down, and I don't think it's going to necessarily see price dropping anytime in the next year or 2 or 3. I think the ultimate indicator of when prices are going to fall is when interest rates go up. Now, you can study Japan on your own time. Their market tanked in 1989 and their mortgage rates have never gone up. And so I think that our 2008 was kind of a lesson learned, and until we've got bigger national problems, I think, to solve before you see interest rates come up. That's my personal opinion. Now, I could be wrong and it could tank next year. So my recommendation is don't buy a home if you don't have any emergency fund saved. if you've got your emergency fund saved and you got a couple of payments saved up, probably 6 months worth, then you're probably going to feel a lot more comfortable buying a home right now, securing a home for your family. You have to live somewhere, so you're going to either own it or you're going to pay somebody else's mortgage. And so, yeah, I mean, if you're feeling really confident and comfortable with your financial situation, then cool, buy a dream home. If you're a little uncertain but you're sick of paying rent, or you're like me and you needed a little more space for your family, I've got 3 kids, I didn't need all this land and garage. It just was a good deal and we're gonna like it. So, but anyway, it was within our financial means. We feel very comfortable. So my advice is next month, it's probably gonna be a little softer. Just this morning, I had a buyer, a past client of mine, call me and they wanted to write an offer on a home that we showed them yesterday, and the offer got bid up, I think $25,000, and from $340 to $365. And so I do believe that kind of thing will tone down a little bit through the winter because of elections in November, and then just in general, the winter is typically a little slower. So I think you're gonna have I think actually now is a great time. Starting November, it's gonna be the best conditions. I think next year, it's going to continue to be pretty aggressive in the market. So yeah, this winter's probably a great time to buy a home if you feel you've got a little padding financially to handle maybe a repair or to handle a couple payments in case you do have to switch jobs. Now, Utah has a very low unemployment rate at 4% right now, so really not too worried about that. But anyway, on the note of repairs though, if you're gonna buy a home, just make sure you buy a really good home warranty plan. And that will cover all the big headaches that potentially could arise. And it seems like when you buy something new, when it's like when ownership changes, the house decides to have something go wrong. And on average, those repairs though are not very expensive. And especially if you have a home warranty plan. I just had my condo get a brand new AC unit and furnace, and it didn't cost me more than like 600 bucks. So they covered the rest. So anyway, there's ways to protect yourself that way. Reach out if you have questions. I'd like to consult with you more directly. We could build a cool real estate plan. You know, I'm buying this home in a process that I'm gonna make a video on it, but I'm gonna have rental property actually pay for the whole mortgage of this home. And so we could design a plan for you to feel more comfortable in the home that you own. Hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more content and more information like this. Thanks for watching.